All right, guys, what is going on? Back again with another Arbitrum ecosystem update. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice, and everything I say is my opinion and my opinion alone. Let's without further ado, let's jump into it. This is going to be a relatively quick one today. Bunch of things that I kind of missed, over the past couple of days. And I should have went live. I should have went live. I said I was doing this every day. Senko kind of mainnet challenge, and unfortunately, I failed, but nonetheless, we still stream on. Anyways, we got a couple of updates today, as I said. First one today, of course, is a tweet by me. I said it looks like Go Aave's stablecoin will be deployed in Arbitrum 1 for its first chain launch, LFG HO. And I linked to the snapshot below. So for those of you who don't know, as I mentioned, Aave actually has a stablecoin they're coming out with called Go. They announced it actually quite a long time ago now, and they've essentially been kind of going through, of course, their own kind of DAO process and trying to figure out essentially, amongst their community where to launch Go first. In this case, I think now with the vote finally passed, Arbitrum came in first. Pretty resounding, decision, if you ask me. And I think it'll essentially be deployed on Ethereum and Arbitrum first, essentially, now that this thing has passed. I don't know what the timeline is, unfortunately, but it is pretty exciting to see, essentially the biggest lending and borrowing market within crypto, I would think, deploying their own stablecoin and, of course, having it available on Arbitrum from day one. Very exciting stuff. And I do think that it looks like they're using Chainlink's CCIP essentially for like bridging purposes to kind of facilitate their cross-chain strategy of Go, as they write down here, which I think is why they have these specific chains as an option. Because to be honest with you, I was kind of surprised that, like, I don't know, some other L2s or even other L1s were here. But nonetheless, still very exciting. Shout outs to the Aave community for picking Arbitrum, of course, to deploy Go on top of. We appreciate you. On behalf of the Arbitrum community, I can say that we all appreciate you. Next, we have a tweet here by Dodo Chain, introducing dodochain.com, or I'm sure it's just Dodo Chain, an omni-trading layer 3 powered by Arbitrum EigenDA at alt layer, set to launch. Trade tokens and increase earnings by restaking all on Dodo Chain, the roll-up level liquidity layer. This is a very interesting one. So essentially, Dodo, if you don't know, is actually one of the first protocols that launched on Arbitrum way back in the day. And they essentially, as they put here, they've been on multiple different chains over the past couple of years. I didn't realize they facilitated so many billions, I should say, in trades. But nonetheless, it looks like their chain is looking to offer omni-chain liquidity outposts, Bitcoin L2 and ETH L2 connectors, as well as native restaking yield. And it looks like it's going to be a layer 3 chain specifically. And again, like as I mentioned before, they're using EigenDA for their data availability. So very exciting stuff. I mean, I will say, like, the marketing is definitely next to none. It looks like finally the Dodo can fly. It isn't part of like the Dodo story that like the Dodo technically like flew off like a cliff or something, or like it fell off a cliff, and that's why they're extinct. So like this is kind of like like the opposite of that, saying now like it actually jumped off the cliff and now it's flying somehow. Nonetheless, Dodo looks pretty thick over here. The avatar is pretty crazy. Shout out to whoever the designer is. Beautiful artwork. But very excited to see Dodo Chain go live. And it's funny because I do think as time goes on, we'll see more and more kind of different customizations and frameworks of these different orbit chains, essentially, right? Celestia, obviously, I think was kind of one of the bigger solutions that people were looking to use for their orbit chain. Now it looks like EigenDA is going to be one of the bigger ones as well, because I think Dodo Chain wasn't the only one who announced the layer 3 recently. I think ZTX announced one. So did there was one. I think there was one that was like Bitcoin focused. I forgot the name though. But nonetheless, it seems like people are very excited to see these things launch, and so am I. All right, we have a tweet here by Devansh Mehta. He says, call it to all the real-world asset folks with a stable, liquid, and yield-earning product. Do you want Arbitrum DAO as your customer? Then apply for a share of the 35 million ARB being diversified. Honestly, is there anything more legit than saying Arbitrum DAO earns money from our product? So in a nutshell, just to kind of keep it very high level, the Arbitrum DAO has essentially passed this a proposal to, it looks like in this case, use 35 million ARB to distribute into real world assets that, as he mentions, have a specifically that are stable, liquid, and essentially can earn yield. In this case, it looks like you can actually apply to, if you have like your own real world asset protocol, to have your asset listed, which is great. That's really cool, actually. It's kind of funny because I think there's a good amount of, what do I want to say here? There's a good amount of real world asset based projects on Arbitrum. Like more and more have been launching, and I think just because like there isn't like a huge narrative around it, people don't really, I guess, pay that much attention to it. But a good amount of them are launching on Arbitrum, and I think this is a really cool way, and probably the first of its kind, where you see a DAO treasury uh, essentially invest into real world assets. Like on chain, completely on chain. So it's really cool. I'm really interested in seeing all the teams that end up applying for this. Let me see if they have a link here somewhere, just in case there is anyone watching this after the fact. I think looks like the link is actually within the tweet itself. Let me actually go ahead and retweet this one as well, since it looks like this is kind of relevant. But nonetheless, really exciting stuff. And just, I don't know, like the DAO is moving so quick as of late. There's actually a good amount of there's a good amount of, I should say, proposals that are coming through the DAO that I haven't even covered yet, frankly, just because it's so much to keep track of, and I don't want to kind of cover it and kind of I don't want to prematurely cover something, just in case it's people prefer to keep it within the forums. Nonetheless, the forums are public, so it's not like it would make a difference. But either way, if you're interested in real world assets, make sure to check out that proposal below. All right, we got a tweet here. Camelot. I love these guys. Camelot Dex is now live on the first Arbitrum Layer 3 Xi. This marks a significant milestone, Camelot's first orbit deployment, serving as the native DEX for Arbitrum and its ecosystem of chains. Explore the Xi chain at app.camelot.exchange. Very exciting stuff here. Camelot does go on to explain how essentially orbit chains are pretty much going to be part of their strategy moving forward. They've explained that in actually previous posts in the past, but it's pretty cool to see them actually taking action on it, with Xi kind of with them leading the way with Xi. So it looks like if you kind of look at this tweet here, they have a picture of Xi. Let me go ahead and bam. They got a picture of Xi highlighted alongside Arbitrum, and it looks like Arbitrum Sepolia, probably the testnet. Really exciting stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie, there are very few teams I think I've seen, so far in Arbitrum that have actually committed to essentially adopting an orbit related strategy. Like I mentioned, Camelot is one of the only ones that have said, for the most part, that they're looking to launch on almost any Arbitrum orbit chain. It's kind of funny because I think now there's definitely like 40 public chains, like 40 chains that are publicly announced that they're going to launch with orbit. Obviously, there's less than that are live, but a good amount of them are in testnet, and a good amount of them are also in development. I don't imagine Camelot will deploy on all of them, but I imagine they'll deploy on the ones that they think makes the most sense for them to deploy on. So Xi, of course, made a ton of sense. So really excited to see them, I don't know, just absolutely kill it on Xi. And I really would love to see more, separate to this, more analytics on like some of these different L3s. It's a bit of a shame that L2B doesn't really go into detail on L3s. They only really do it on L2s. That's in like TVL, TPS, stuff like that. Actually, no, I think TPS does include layer 3s. I take that back, because I think DGen chain was on there. But nonetheless, like it's just surprising that there's not more analytics, I guess, around layer 3s as a whole. I'm sure we'll get there at some point. Someone will make an L3 beat or something. But not looking for anyone to do the vampire attack L2B, by the way. You can just make something, make a separate chart, make a separate website that tracks L3s. Okay, we got a tweet here by Spectral Signal. Spectral Signal is launching exclusively on Arbitrum. Join us, Arbinauts, for a groundbreaking cosmic adventure and interstellar vision that redefines Web3 narrative gaming. Listen into the end of the beginning, what the heck, and hear the echoes of a universe awakening. It looks like this is essentially a game launching on Arbitrum. That's great. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know anything about them. I just saw it on my timeline, and I said, we should highlight these guys. So I haven't played it yet. I'm not sure if it's even live, to be honest. It might be, but nonetheless, could be worth. Oh, look, there you go. Like Gasboat over here did us a favor. He said it's free to play in browser, and it looks like you can play now. Maybe it actually looks pretty fun. Very nice. Nonetheless, shout out to them for launching on Arbitrum. Gaming on Arbitrum has definitely been growing. Probably one of the fastest growing sectors, I think, within Arbitrum as of late. Obviously, it's already known as the king of DeFi. But I will say it's good to see different vertical. It's good to see it taking over in different verticals as well, because scaling is scaling. No matter what, no matter what you're doing. At the end of the day, obviously, it's different flavors of scaling, you could say, but for all intents and purposes, Arbitrum Tech can work in any way you want it to, which is the nice part. Okay, we got a tweet. Oh, we got a tweet here based from Senko, of course. Also streaming this on Senko, by the way, if you don't know. They said here. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting one. So Senko, a couple of days ago, I should say this because I don't think I mentioned it in a previous video yet. They essentially did a collaboration with Pump.fun, which essentially is kind of like this marketplace thing where you can launch tokens, launch tokens in a safe way, quote unquote, and have people kind of like literally buy into them on the spot. It kind of represents like a 4chan, but for pump and dumps. It's pretty degenerate, but also pretty fun. But it's currently live only on Solana and Blast, I think. And in this case, Senko is doing a collaboration with them. So technically, I think it actually ended, to be honest with you, but I still want to make sure I'm highlighting it. Essentially, you were able to live stream on Senko and launch a token, and then whoever, I guess, whoever token at the end of this King of the Hill kind of series, I guess, which is, I think, was like a day or two long. I guess they'd get some sort of like DMT based rewards or something like that. So if you look here, there's already a couple of creators here who launched a couple of them. That was a little while ago, actually, now. But Spiral Forum was, of course, leading with Wani Coin that had $117,000 market cap. Again, none of this is financial advice, not telling anyone to invest in any of this stuff. But I did want to shout out Senko because it is pretty cool to see Pump.fun integrate with them. And I'm looking forward to see if there's any more integrations coming down the line for them. I know Senko chain is essentially imminent at this point. I know I think there was like a tweet earlier I saw on Twitter, someone saying that since Movie had said that Senko mainnet is coming like very quick. Let's see. I'm very excited as usual. Again, I don't know if I can commit to the whole one video a day thing just because it is a lot. But nonetheless, still very excited for Senko mainnet and excited to see maybe other collaborations that come out of this Pump.fun integration that Senko now has. Okay, and I wanted to mention this last one. Just it's not Arbitrum related necessarily, but I do kind of align with this sentiment. We have Ish. Oh my god, I'm gonna destroy the last name. Verduzco. I said that right, I think. A tweet here from my guy Ish. He says, community management is customer service at scale, while also attributing to brand sentiment, sales, product growth, and user research. It's much more than just going through your replies every day. It's one of the highest leverage points for your business when done right. I literally cannot agree more. Obviously, I came from community management. Technically, I'm still now community strategy, but for all intents and purposes, I might as well be community management. It's kind of funny because to me, like I've always said that, like essentially, like we're just kind of like glorified like customer service representatives, which to me is it's a good. I think it's fine. I think it's a good thing to say, right? At the end of the day, you're always trying to like please people. You're always trying to figure out how to work with people, help them, whether it's like a community member or a project, right? That's building with you. And I think for the most part, actually, I think community managers are actually probably one of the most highest respected like titles, I think, in crypto. Yo, Churro, what's going on, bro? Well, obviously you're gonna agree. Churro in the cut. But yeah, no, it's actually pretty cool that it's. I think I feel like when people talk about it, it seems to be one of the most respected roles. Especially when I hear people saying that they're community managers, people tend to be pretty impressed by it. No matter where you're working at. Because it is a lot of work. And I feel like at the end of the day, especially in crypto, it's kind of one of those things that does cover essentially almost everything, right? If you're a community manager that just can just I don't know, like your job can essentially range from just doing Discord stuff to like pretty much doing like a mix of like sales, product growth, as it says here. And I feel like I've kind of gone that route, I think, over the years. Started with the Discord. Almost like 2.5 years ago. It's actually more than 2.5 years ago now, almost 3. And now at the point where I'm just like doing as much as I can, but nonetheless, still pretty cool. I wanted to highlight that tweet just because I don't know, I aligned with it a lot. But that being said, guys, I think we're gonna end it off here. I'm gonna keep this one short. And forgive me as I try to still figure out how I should approach the Arbitrum ecosystem updates. I like the idea of streaming this kind of on Senko as well. Obviously, the main issue is that it's not that good for SEO. That's the biggest problem. And coming from my content creator days, SEO has to be locked down tight for things to really hit. So let's see. Right now, I'm streaming it on Senko, X, and YouTube. I'm gonna keep giving it a try and whatnot, just to see if it works everywhere. I also, by the way, I'm using StreamYard, so like it makes everything so much easier. I'm about to go in afterwards and mess around with things. Let's see if you guys like it. I'll keep doing it this way, and that way, if anyone does tune in live for the 20-30 minutes that I'm live, people can talk. But if not, maybe I go back to doing what I was doing before, which is posting everything, essentially pre-recording stuff, posting it on X and YouTube, and then cutting out Senko entirely. And then Senko, I'll just do my own streams separate to this stuff. But it does seem like this stuff does kind of resonate well with some Senko folks. So we'll figure it out is the point. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, Twitter, tag me, DM me. I don't know, do whatever you want to do. I'll keep doing my thing, and hopefully you'll keep doing yours. That being said, guys, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.